Hi everybody, I'm sort of on a roll this week. I've done several tarot videos, and as I go through my decks I always return to this deck. This is my one deck that I could not do without. If I had to leave everything behind and take just one tarot deck with me, this would be the one. And I've had this deck for about 15 years. This is the Vision Quest Tarot, A.G. Mueller, produced in Europe. I believe they're printed in Belgium. The box, as you can see, is pretty well beat up. And this is a tarot based on Native American wisdom. Now, what I love about this deck, the images are exceptionally beautiful. The theme resonates with me as a person who's resided for most of my life in the southwest of the U.S. And the deck is based upon elements, which is how I sort of relate to tarot and relate to any sort of magical endeavor. I really enjoy this deck. I mean, it just resonates with me. So perhaps it may or may not for you, but maybe this video will help you make up your mind about it. So the deck comes in a flip-top box, serviceable enough. It comes with a white book, and this white book is exceptional. It does not contain pictures, but it has very detailed explanations of the cards. Well, of course, it goes through some spreads, some suggested spreads based on the Native American theme. But each card has a very detailed explanation. And for most of the cards, they also explain the symbols that were used in the card, which I really find that wonderful, very helpful. And they'll, sort of explain why they chose that image, why they chose those symbols. So it's quite helpful. And then for the cards that are different from traditional Rider-Waite, they will explain to you in the little white book of what the card relates to, as if it were Rider-Waite. So each card, and even the minor arcana, Seven of Earth, they give you essential keywords. They give you a message for inner guidance or for outer manifestation. So personally, I usually just use the essential meanings. It's kind of nice because the minors have keywords, so that's very helpful. So when you get the deck, there's a guarantee, and of course a little ad for other decks that the company produces: Rider-Waite, Thoth Tarot, Gemstone and Crystal. Now this is the cards as they come to you. I have not trimmed these. I've seen another video where the reviewer said she just couldn't stand the border and had to trim it down. Well, it doesn't bother me all that much. I love the cosmic feel of the card, the night sky, the sort of Milky Way galaxy going past, and the eagle flying through the sky. So the backs are all the same. They're not reversible, because if you were to reverse it, the eagle would be the other direction. But, whether or not to re-reversals is sort of a personal decision. Personally, I don't do that. So let's look at each card real quickly. The major arcana is 0 clown instead of the fool. And instead of a dog, we have a kind of a wolf there in the back. We still have the cliff. And we have this sense of naivete and new beginnings that we have in other Fool cards. So this is 0, the clown. Number 1, medicine man, which would correlate to the magician. He's got his elemental symbols: air, earth, fire. It's just a beautiful card. Love it, love it, love it. Card 2, which would correspond with the High Priestess, we have the Medicine Woman. We have similar symbols on this card as we do to other High Priestess cards. Water, air, the moon. Instead of the Empress, we have Grandmother. This sort of reminds me of Hawaii, where Ohana, the turtle, signifies the family. So this is really nice. Here we have Grandmother with her jar containing food. She's helping care for the grandchildren. You have the feeling of abundance, love. It's beautiful. Then instead of the Emperor, we have Grandfather. And he's got a bison there. You get the feeling that this is a elder tribesman with all the feathers on the cap, and that he's a wise elder. So Grandfather instead of the Emperor. This shaman correlates to the Hierophant. Very lovely. The Lovers. Beautiful card as well. And I love that all the cards have so many nature elements in them. The frogs, the flowers, the moss-covered rocks. Beautiful. The Spiritual Warrior corresponds to the Chariot. Now this deck is more of a Thoth oriented. So for number 8, they have what would be Justice, or in this deck it's called Balance. So we have that idea of balance here. She's balancing on her head. We've got balanced images on both sides of the card. The reeds, the water. Number 9, the Hermit. And a bear is symbolic of the hermit who hibernates all winter. Now, instead of Wheel of Fortune, we have the small medicine wheel. And when you read the Little White Book, it even explains the eagle, the coyote, the bear, and the bison, and what they represent in the mind of the creator of the deck. As I said, it's a great book. Number 11, Life Force. This is instead of Strength. So whereas in Rider-Waite you see a woman with a lion, for this Life Force or Strength card, we see a warrior and he's got a mountain lion there. And then behind him we have the force of the it's not really a volcano, it's a geyser, the force of the heat within the earth, bringing the water up from below. The Life Force. I really love that. These cards I could just get lost in. They're just so beautiful and so significant. Now, rather than the Hanged Man, we have Vision Quest, and it gives you a similar feel to the card. The Hanged Man is sort of in limbo, in the similar way that the Indian would go out in the desert and remain for days and days and days on a vision quest. Similar thought behind the card. Number 13, for Death, we have Transformation. When something dies, it transforms and becomes something else. Now, instead of Temperance, we have Integration. And in the Thoth deck, this is also known as Art. And in the book for the Vision Quest Tarot, they explain this card keyword as relating to alchemy. So there is a sense of integration, joining together. I really like that. It's very different. You're joining nature to the material. in the same way that a spider would do it, in forming his web. Number 15, instead of the devil, we have torment. And that's really a good explanation of the true meaning behind the devil card. It's not that there's an actual devil, it's more that you're making wrong choices and you're causing the torment in your life. Number 16, chaos. This is in place of the tower. A very similar feel, great changes, lightning, the horse bolting, fire in the forest, chaos. Number 17, the star. This is a beautiful star card. And there's sort of a different interpretation in the little white book for this card. In the mind of the author, the star relates to having abundance and sharing with others. So here we have number 17, the star. Number 18, the moon. Similar to the Rider-Waite, we've got the crustacean there climbing up out of the primal sea. We've got the dog howling at the moon. This is my favorite sun card of any deck. I just think it's perfection. There's the sun, beautiful cactus flowers and hummingbirds, and the woman enjoying the sun. All's right with the world. Number 20, instead of judgment, we have spirit guide. A very similar concept, but with a Native American twist. The spirit guide is related to eagle and sort of providing guidance to those along the trail there. Spirit guide. Number 21, in place of the world, we have the big medicine wheel. Now onto the suits, or the minor arcana. What's different about this deck, and what I like about this deck, is that the 4 suits are not named for objects like cups and wands and coins or pentacles, but these are named for the elements that are associated with those, with the suit. So I'm going to start with the air suit. This relates to swords, and it relates to the east and the wind. So I always like to start with the air element. There is the Ace of Air. Beautiful feather there. 2 of Air. Oh, and the minor arcana cards have keywords. So if you're a new reader and you're not completely familiar with Rider-Waite, you can pick these up and read with them immediately. The pictures are similar, but the keywords give you a little bit different feeling. Sometimes this card is viewed as truce or conflict or making a choice, being at a crossroads. But their keyword for this card is inner peace, and I like that. 3 of Swords, or 3 of Air. Doubt. And that comes across similar but yet differently enough from the regular Rider-Waite cards, which show the 3 swords piercing a heart, and they're supposed to indicate great sorrow. But 3 of Swords, or 3 of Air, doubt. To me, that seems to be more appropriate for this card than having heartbreak. To me, heartbreak would be more associated with cups or water. Doubt is more associated with the mind, intellect, communication, which is associated with the swords or air. So I really, really love this 3 of Air. 4 of Air, contemplation. A little bit of a retreat there, a rest. 5 of Air, fear. And we don't really see a battle in this card depicted, but we have the keyword of fear. 6 of air, clarity. 7 of air, futility. A little different from the stealth or backstabbing type of an image that you get with the Rider-Waite decks. 7 of air, futility. 8 of air, interference. Very similar to Rider-Waite, where they have the 8 swords encircling the woman. Here we've got interference around the bird, actually, in this case. Kind of interesting. I really enjoy this card in this deck. Every card is just so interesting and so well thought out and so different, but yet so similar. I just love it. I can't tell you that enough. I know you've heard me say it throughout this whole review, but this is my favorite deck of all time. 9 of air, hurt. And 10 of air, negative thinking. So instead of 10 swords stuck in somebody's body, we've got the buzzard circling around. Pretty similar concept. Graphically different, but similar essence. Now another big difference between this deck and Rider-Waite, it's very similar to Thoth in that Thoth has princess, prince, queen, and knight. In this deck we have son, daughter, mother, and father. And I like this because it sort of balances out the sexes in the court cards. In your Rider-Waite you have page, knight, and king, and that's 3 male figures usually, and then mother is the only female figure. But here we have boy, girl, or girl, boy, boy. So son of air, or actually daughter of air would be first. I rearranged the cards inaccurately, sorry about that. Daughter of air, which would be equivalent to the page of swords. Son of air, equivalent to the knight of swords. Mother of air, which would be the queen of swords. She really does speak queen of swords to me. She looks very decisive, insightful, and maybe a little bit sorrowful. She faces what happens in her life with honesty and integrity. There's father of air. All right, moving on to the suit that would be associated with the south, or with wands, or with fire. We have the suit of fire. Ace of fire. 2 of fire, will, dominion, planning. Just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. 3 of fire, integrity. And in the Thoth deck, this is 3 of wands is considered with the keyword virtue. So virtue, integrity. So this is very true to the Thoth tradition. 3 of fire, integrity. 4 of fire, completion. So while in the Rider-Waite you might see the 4 wands and the garland between them and people celebrating. This is why, because there's an essence of completion associated with the 4 of fire, or 4 of wands. 5 of fire, stress, conflict, competition. 6 of fire, victory, acclaim, achievement. 7 of fire, endurance, holding up amongst the forces in the world that are sort of trying to beat you back. 7 of fire. 8 of fire. Now, whereas in Rider-Waite, the 8 of wands is just showing 8 wands flying through the sky, a sense of movement. 8 of fire, insight. Nine of fire, inner strength, climbing up that hill, accomplishing your task. You have the fortitude to continue on. And 10 of fire, you're just done. You've had so much stress, strain, work, and you're overly burdened, oppression. Now the court cards for the suit of fire. Let's see, I've got these all mixed up in all the suits. Daughter of fire, which would be the equivalent of Page of Wands. Very pretty. Son of fire, lightning for the fire theme behind him. Mother of fire, tending the hearth there at home. And Father of fire. Now moving to the west, or the suit of cups or chalices, or in this case, in this deck, it's water. Ace of water. Two of water, indicating love. Three of water, fullness. Four of water, abundance. Very Thoth. Five of water, loss. Very similar to the Rider-Waite image. Six of water, pleasure. Seven of water, excess. Eight of water, stagnation. Nine of water, joy. And 10 of water, fulfillment. Isn't that beautiful? All right, the court cards for the suit of water. Daughter of water. Son of water. Love that card. Very sensitive guy there. Mother of water. And Father of water. Alrighty, then moving on to the north, which is considered the earth, associated with coins, pentacles. We have Ace of Earth, and this suit has an abundance of plant imagery, which is kind of neat. Ace of Earth, we've got our Indian corn. Two of Earth, change. And kind of similar to the Rider-Waite with the balance and the choice idea, but in this deck it's considered to be keyword change. Three of Earth, growth. Supporting something to allow it to grow, the Apprentice card. Four of Earth, security. A solid foundation to build for the future. Five of Earth, insecurity. A time of, it looks like there's the idea of famine here. Lacking, not having what you need. Five of Earth. Six of Earth, a breakthrough. Abundance, being able to share with others. Seven of Earth, depletion. They normally would show you someone tending a garden and sort of working to support and build what they're trying to grow. But in this card, it's being shown as like a loss or a depletion. Seven of Earth, depletion. Eight of Earth, Inner Order. The card of achievement, accomplishment, experience. Things are going well. Nine of Earth, accumulation. You can enjoy the fruits of your labor. 10 of Earth, great wealth, abundance, perhaps a legacy for your heirs. And then the court cards for the suit of Earth, the Daughter of Earth, the Son of Earth. I love the farming feel of all these Earth suit cards. It's wonderful. Tending the Earth. Mother of Earth. Very beautiful card. And then we have Father of Earth. A very grounded figure there. So, I hope you can see why I love this deck so much. I just really love this deck. My favorite, my all-time favorite deck. If I knew my house was on fire and I had to grab one deck, this would be the one. So, okay, so I hope you enjoyed that run through. And you can order this deck on Amazon.com. Just look for Vision Quest Tarot. And I hope you'll enjoy it as much as I have. Mine has gotten a lot of use. The cards are very nice quality. You know, they're not glossy, they're satiny. And they don't stick. They're not too thick, not too thin. They're just perfect. They're similar to the quality of a nice deck of playing cards, and they're going to hold up well for you. There's no roughness or splitting at the edges. Very nice quality. Like I said, I've had these for about 15 years, and they're still great. Okay, take care. We'll see you next time with the next review.